right, all right. Just striding along. We're in the process of doing the hardline setup. Well, somewhat of a hardline setup. Nice and clean. Got the squeaky clean air, digital management on a custom mount. Got the tank going. I'm going to be doing hardline connection from here to the ends over here. We want to preserve the check valves. These are going to have nylon lines that are going to be going in nice and clean. So we're striding along with that. Kind of arrange it really cool, really nice. It matches the kind of a black and gunmetal theme with this thing. This thing is phenomenal. Sitting on the ground, bagged on Squeaky Clean Air. What we do here at Squeaky Clean Air, we custom make our suspension. We custom picked the factories that we work with, but no, not all suspension is the same. For those wondering, I got a bunch of people messaging me, it's like, oh, this is the same, or your struts are the same. Well, you can make that assumption, but you're buying off of a product or off of somebody that, you really don't know. We know our stuff. We know where it comes from because we assemble it and we put it together. So that's a big difference, when it comes to buying a product out there that's marketed, engineered, you could say. These are all loose terms versus our stuff, which is we know what we're selling you, and we can service it and support it. But that's why the cars that we bagged are always on the ground, because there's certain tricks that we employ, obviously, through knowledge. But anyways, I wired up the management. When I do a lot of my installations, I try to retain as much of the factory wiring as possible. The reason being, what if the guy wants to, or the girl, or let's not use genders these days, but what if the person wants to later resell their management or resell their suspension? You want to kind of install it in a way where you could do that. You also want to install it in a way where you could also resell the car if you need to, which means that you're not going to drill a lot of holes or make a lot of openings for airlines and various things where, somebody's going to sell the car or trade it in, because we all, lose our financial situation, changes from time to time. You don't want to be stuck. At the end of the day, most people won't really care, but you still want to have that mindset when you do an installation that maybe perhaps you will want to sell the car, and the dealer is not going to take it if he's going to see a bunch of holes everywhere to run lines and this and wiring. So kind of have that mindset. At least I have that mindset, or you guys should have, start getting that mindset too when you're doing an installation. Make sure that's reversible, accessible, and done right? So it's kind of like, that's what I like to do sort of with my installations. Yes, there's a lot of wire. You can't really hide the wire very much because it has to be there, but I kind of retained it. So if the guy wants to sell his car or management later, he can, and the new user doesn't have to go and try to source out a wiring harness. So nice and clean, proper grounds. You want to make sure that your compressors are really well grounded because you don't want to pump too much current. With the Vire compressors, they're okay. They're kind of tried and tested. They've been around for a long time. But with the Vire compressors, as they get older, they They draw any kind of a device as it gets older. The pistons and the motors inside start to draw more current. When it starts to draw more current, if your wiring is not up to par and your stuff is not grounded, now you're going to be pumping a lot more current through your supply lines. And if you don't have good grounds on these compressors, that current's going to flow through those supply lines and it's going to start catching fire. That's why a lot of suspension installations eventually, catch fire. It's because the grounds are very poor, or electronic components stop, working correctly, is because the grounds are poor. So a lot of the equipment is getting too much current voltage and fries the components, and it's just not grounded right, or you have shorts and various things. So ground your stuff properly. Do nicer grounds. Always do a gauge lower for the ground than the actual, what comes with the product. Also make sure that specifically with compressors, you don't run them off of a single ground. And if you do run them off of a ground, don't run them off of a wire ground. Wire them directly to the chassis. So you have a larger grounding spot, which is a lot larger for the current to dissipate a lot quicker. So there's just pay attention to your wiring. But anyways, so we're working on this along. I can't wait to see it. This is a really cool thing. We're employing our new logo. I love it. It's got the little Canadian flag in it because we are Canadian proud. We do have customers all over the world. There's just been a phenomenal response to our brand. I love you guys. Maybe because we're so passionate about it. Oh, I'm so passionate about suspension. People involved in the brand as well, because it's not just myself, but there's other behind the scenes families involved with it as well too. But because we're so passionate about it, you know, and we're from Canada, we have to have the Canadian flag there. And you know, this is our new logo. It's squeakycleanair.ca is for our website. So yeah, strutting along. This thing is amazing. I love Audis. That's why probably we bag a lot of these. Audis and Volkswagens, we do the most. Hyundais, Toyotas. Those seem to be the largest brands that we sort of cater to. But we have a lot of unique applications that not a lot of other companies do, simply because myself as a distributor for various suspension systems, a dealer for various suspension systems, I've worked with all the products, and I know what makes those products you know, lack, or what applications are lacking, or what applications are not up to par. And that's the beauty of sort of running your own brand, where you're able to take the stuff that's lacking out there and you're able to improve on it and make it better. So that's really the mindset behind us. And yeah, Squeaky Clean Air. So we're going to continue on with this thing. I'm going to show you guys how the trunk is going to turn out, because I'm going to be doing the hard lines right now. And yeah, she's almost done. All right. So the hardline setup is done. Came out nice and clean. He still has some trunk space that he's able to carry some stuff. So it's nice and clean, nice clean setup. Did a little bit of a hardline there. He's using 2 Vyaire stealth compressors. Squeaky Clean Air digital management. Yeah, I like it. All right, we're gonna fire it up. All right. So Patrick's car is done. The hardline setup in the back, the compressors are on. I just checked for leaks. There's no leaks. Everything is nice and hunky-dory. So perfect. This is good. Gonna put back the back seat. I got the heights kind of dialed in. This is a pretty decent driving height. I'm gonna take it for a spin tomorrow. Make sure that there you go. That's nice and quick with 2 compressors. I'm gonna make sure that it's all set up correctly. Nice and clean wiring on the sides of the compressors. Nice little hard lines, nice and clean and functional. He still has plenty of trunk space left for him to be able to put a stroller and his groceries, because he does daily drive it. So this is pretty cool. And I'm gonna air it out for the night. I'm gonna take it out tomorrow, take it for a rip. I find that pretty decent height. You're getting at about 80 psi front and rear. Let's air it out. Slamming it on the ground. Yeah. All right. So I'll take it out for a spin tomorrow and do a full pan of how it looks like during the day.